Once upon a time, there was a proud country in the east, close to the sea. On the sea there was Wagwo Mountain, and there was a great immortal stone in the mountain. One day, the immortal stone burst and gave birth to a stone egg, which grew rapidly when it was exposed to air and turned into a little stone monkey. The little stone monkey learned to crawl and walk, jump all over the mountains, eat wild fruits, drink spring water, and was happy. The little stone monkey made grass skirts, weaved garlands, dressed up, and was so happy that his heart blossomed. There was no calendar in the mountains. Nobody knows how many years passed, and the stone monkey became the leader of the monkeys in the mountain. The monkeys jumped on trees and climbed branches, picked flowers and fruits, and the days were really sweet. One day, the monkeys were running sand nests, building pagodas, chasing dragonflies, and having a good time, when a tiger suddenly came, and the monkeys managed to escape the danger. The stone monkey asked everyone to discuss a plan to get rid of the big bug and avoid the scourge. They negotiated a deal, played around and pretended to be okay, to coax the tiger down the mountain. The tiger was so hungry that it rushed towards the monkey, but because of the force, it flew into the air and fell into the deep valley. Except for the tiger, everyone was happy. They climbed the vines and played in the water and had fun. The monkeys saw that the mountains and rivers poured straight down, which was very spectacular. A monkey said, "I don't know where this water came from. Let's find the source and play tricks." Calling for brothers and sisters one by one, they went straight to the source. A beautiful waterfall came into view. Everyone praised, "Good water, good water." A monkey said, "Whoever has the ability, go in and find a source to come out, and everyone will worship him as the king." The stone monkey responded, "I'll go in." The stone monkey jumped into the waterfall and took a closer look. There was no water and no waves inside, but clearly an iron bridge. The water under the bridge rushes through the stone orifices like a curtain of beads hanging upside down. Jumping over the bridge, there was a stone scepter in the middle, with large characters in regular script engraved on it. There are flowers and trees by the bridge, but it is a stone house with stone pots, stone stoves, stone bowls, stone basins, stone beds, stone benches. A good home made by nature. The stone monkey was overjoyed, jumped out of the water, hit two hee-hees, and said, "Great fortune, great fortune." The monkeys gathered around to ask questions. Stone Monkey said, "It is really a place for us to live in, and it can accommodate thousands of people, young and old." All the monkeys were happy when they heard it, and asked the stone monkey to take them in. The stone monkey shouted, "Come with me," then leaps forward, entering the cave. All the monkeys scrambled for pots and bowls, occupying the stove and vying for the bed, moving around. It was so lively. Stone Monkey said, "You say whoever has the ability to come in and go out, worship whoever is king. Now it's time to worship me as king." All the monkeys heard that they were called the great king of the 1,000 years. And the stone monkey became the handsome monkey king. The monkey king was happy for many years. But one day he suddenly became troubled. He wondered how long this good day would last. The 4 old monkeys learned about the monkey king's mind, and went up to persuade him. If the king wants to live forever, he should travel around the world to find immortals. The next day, the monkey king asked the monkeys to harvest bamboo and wood, make a raft, and prepare to travel far to find a teacher. The monkeys picked peaches, picked different fruits, served wine, and offered fresh flowers to see off the monkey king. The monkey king boarded the raft alone, stretched it as far as he could, and fluttered, heading towards the sea, taking advantage of the wind and sailing southward. The southeast wind has been strong for several days. When Monkey King came to the South China Sea, Monkey King saw people fishing. hunting wild geese, digging clams, and panning for salt. The handsome Monkey King abandoned the raft and landed, approached the people, made a strange appearance, and scared those people to throw away their baskets and abandon their nets, and ran in all directions. The handsome Monkey King picked up the clothes left by the people and put them on, pretending to be a person. The handsome Monkey King swayed away from the beach and walked towards the downtown. At the market, scholars, farmers, workers and businessmen come and go. The Monkey King looked carefully, looking for immortals and Buddhas. The Monkey King saw a large sedan car coming, and the Monkey King was unhappy and beat the old fortune who sat in the sedan chair. He thought, such people must be like tigers in the mountains. When Monkey King came to the street, Monkey King saw someone getting a haircut, and the Monkey King also wanted to get a haircut, which surprised the master. As he was walking, he saw an old lady carrying a bundle of firewood, and the Monkey King hurriedly stepped forward to help. The handsome Monkey King visited the East and West, and after 5 years, he learned a lot of human etiquette from the people. Swallow goes and wild goose comes. Time is rushing. The Monkey King is very anxious. Where can I find the sacred Buddha? The Monkey King bid farewell to his fellow villagers, thanked Enda, and continued to look for a teacher. He floated across the South China Sea, passed through the East China Sea, and arrived at the realm of the West China Sea. There was a beautiful high mountains, deep forests, clanging trees, and songs. The Monkey King searched for the sound, and when he saw a woodcutter, he stepped forward and shouted, "Old God!" The woodcutter said, "How can I dare to be a god?" The Monkey King asked the woodcutter for guidance, and the woodcutter said, "This mountain is called Lingtai Fengkan Mountain, and there is a 3-star cave with a slanting moon in the mountain. And the god Subhuti is here." The Monkey King bid farewell to the old man, stepped out of the deep forest, climbed a ridge and crossed a hill, and saw a cave dwelling as expected. When came to the entrance of the cave, the Monkey King saw that the door was closed, and there was no one there. Suddenly turned around. The Monkey King saw a stone tablet stood on the top of the rock. The Monkey King did not dare to knock on the door, so he jumped on the pine branch and picked pine nuts to eat and play. After a short while, the door of the cave opened, and a fairy boy walked out, handsome and magnificent, different from ordinary people, shouting, "Who is harassing here?" The Monkey King jumped off the tree and said, "How dare I harass?" The boy said, "Are you a visiting Taoist? Master is preaching. Come with me." The Monkey King dressed up in a dignified manner, and followed the fairy boy into the depths of the cave, layer upon layer of deep pavilion Chonglo, and layer upon layer of pearl palace beak, passing through the Dashang Hall, passing through the Arhat Hall, worshipping Wei Tuo Maitreya, ascending the steps of 1,000 steps. All are quiet rooms and secluded residences, until under the Yaotai, seeing that Patriarch Bodhi was sitting on the stage, there were 30 little immortals standing under the stage on both sides. The Monkey King fell down and bowed, saying, "Master, Master." The Patriarch smiled and said, "I think you look like a Hosen. So your surname is Sun." When the Monkey King heard this, he was full of joy and asked the master to give him a name. The Patriarch said, "I'll give you a Dharma name. Let's call it Sun Wukong." Wukong put on his cassock and bowed his thanks to Patriarch Bodhi. The Patriarch ordered the crowd to lead Wukong out of the second door and taught him to deal with etiquette. In spring, flowers are blooming and all things are growing. Wukong and his brothers are hoeing and sweeping the garden, planting flowers and trees, and carrying water and watering the seedlings. Shaoyang was scorching hot, and the days were long and long. Wukong and his senior brothers practiced meditation and meditated. He was suffering from the fact that he could not sit peacefully or sleep peacefully. The autumn is high and the air is cool and the breeze is breezy. Wukong and his brothers dance with swords and spears, and beat with sticks, showing that he is highly skilled in martial arts. Winter nights are quiet. Green charcoal burns incense. Wukong and his brothers study calligraphy and scriptures, cultivate the mind and cultivate Taoism. But he can only do graffiti and smear flowers. After 6 or 7 years in the cave, Wukong studied hard and practiced hard, and he was able to recite sutras and chanting Buddha. One day, when the patriarch gave a sermon on the altar, Wukong was listening to the lecture. He was so happy that he scratched his ears, scratched his cheeks, smiled, and couldn't help dancing. Seeing that Wukong had understood something, the patriarch jumped off the high platform and hit Wukong 3 times with a ruler. Afterwards, the patriarch left the crowd and walked inside, and everyone resented Wukong. Wukong thought to himself that when the patriarch beat him 3 times, he must have taught him to listen to the sermons in the secret place during the 3rd watch. On that day, Wukong liked it, but he was anxious and hoped that the sky would get dark. After finally staying until dusk, Wukong pretended to go to bed. Around midnight, he put on his clothes, sneaked open the front door, and walked out lightly. Wukong went from the old path to the back door, only to see that the door was half open. Wukong thought, "Master really set the mind to preach with me." The patriarch was waiting for Wukong, and when he heard the sound of pushing the door, he was very happy. The monkey was really smart. The patriarch lay down deliberately. Wukong walked to the couch, daring not to be disturbed, and knelt there. Not long after, the patriarch sat cross-dressed. Wukong said, "There is only one disciple here. I hope Master will teach me the way of longevity." The patriarch saw that Wukong was destined and liked it very much, and told him to listen carefully. Wukong listened carefully to the preaching of the patriarch, understood it in his heart, and remembered the formula. When he came out after thanking the master, the sky in the east was already pale. Unconsciously, after another 3 years, the patriarch returned to the throne and spoke to the public. The patriarch asked Wukong what he had been cultivating, and Wukong answered humbly. The patriarch passed on the wonderful Dharma, and the Monkey King learned 72 changes. Wukong is self-study and self-training. Suddenly one day, the patriarch asked Wukong in an examination. Wukong said, "The disciple's homework is complete." Wukong boasted that he was able to ascend to the sky. Ancestor said, "You test flight and show me." Wukong straightened his body, made some somersaults, and jumped 5 or 6 feet off the ground. Then, Wukong had a meal while flying on the clouds. But the distance was less than 3 miles away. When Wukong fell, the patriarch said, "This is not called Tungyun, but climbing cloud. If you can travel all over the world in one day, you can count as Tungyun." The patriarch passed down another formula. "I will teach you a somersault cloud, and a somersault will be 108,000 miles away." Wukong obeys his master that there is no difficulty in the world, only afraid of those who is determined. If there is a will, things will come true. Wukong finally learned to somersault clouds. 1 somersault for 108,000 miles, and freely go back and forth. One day, the brothers asked Wukong to audition the method of change taught by the patriarch. Wukong recited a spell and transformed himself into a fat monk who was out of shape. When the public saw it, they all applauded. The applause alarmed the patriarch. "Who is making noise here?" Wukong showed his true appearance and greeted his master. The patriarch said, "How can you show off your skills in front of others?" Wukong hurriedly asked for forgiveness of sins. The patriarch said, "I don't blame you, but you should go back to where you come from." Wukong said, "I have been studying Taoism with Master for 20 years. I did not repay the kindness to Master. I dare not leave." The patriarch said, "Where is the kindness? As long as you don't cause trouble and don't implicate me, I'll be satisfied." Wukong had no choice but to say goodbye. Wukong made somersaults and headed back to the East China Sea. After an hour, Wagwo Mountain was in front of his eyes. Pressing the cloud head, Wukong picked a ripe watermelon from the melon field to quench his thirst. With a whistling sound, a fierce tiger appeared in the forest. The tiger slashed and pounced, and it was fierce. Wukong dodged and dodged, playing and kicking. The tiger swooped in the air again and again, and Wukong kicked it into the deep valley. Wukong tore off the tiger skin and wrapped it around his waist. He looked at himself in the water mirror, feeling a little more mighty. When he arrived Wagwo Mountain, he heard the chirping of cranes and apes, with sadness, and Wukong shouted, "Hey children, here I am back." As soon as the shouting fell, a few monkeys jumped out of the stone ridge, among the flowers and trees. Telling the suffering monkeys said, "Last 2 years, there was a demon who called himself the Demon King of Chaos, showing off his might and wanting to take over our Water Curtain Cave mansion by force. We forget our lives to fight with him. But how could we fight against him? At those times, this guy robbed us of our belongings, captured many sons and nephews, and made us to be restless day and night." When Wukong heard this, he was furious and said, "Don't be afraid. Wait for me to find him." The Monkey King straightened his body, jumped up, and somersaulted, until he looked down to the north, and saw a very steep mountain. "This is the devil's dirty waterhole." When the little demon saw Wukong, he turned his head and left. Wukong said, "Don't go away. I am the owner of the Water Curtain Cave in Wagwo Mountain, and I come to settle accounts with your family's filthy bird demon." The little demon hurriedly ran into the cave to report, "Your Majesty, what a disaster. There was a monkey outside the cave, claiming to be the master of the Water Curtain Cave." The Demon King asked how the monkey was dressed and what equipment he had, and the little demon said that the monkey came with his bare hands. The Demon King said, "Take my weapon." The little demons carried out the armor and big sword of the Demon Kings. In an instant, the Demon King was dressed and the sword was in hand. As soon as he could get out, the Demon King shouted, "Who is the master of the Water Curtain Cave? Dare to come and die?" The Monkey King shouted, "You devil! You don't have eyes. Lao Sun is here." The devil said with a smile, "You are shorter than me. You use bare hands, and I use the sword. Even if I kill you, people will laugh at me. Let me put down the sword and fight you." Wukong said, "Exactly. Good man. Come on." Unpredictable Wukong punched. The Demon King's face was blue and his nose was swollen, and he screamed. The group of demons gritted their teeth and swarmed up. Wukong jumped. The Demon King dropped his mouth and gnawed at the mud. Seeing that the momentum was not right, the Demon King didn't care about being a hero, and he took up the big sword again. Wukong pulled out a handful of luxuriant hair, threw it in his mouth and chewed it, looked at the sky and sprayed it, and called out, "Change," which turned into 300 or 200 little monkeys. When the little monkeys went up, the Demon King could no longer resist. Wukong grabbed the big sword and cut down the Demon King. The Monkey King asked, "Where are all my children?" Little demons quickly led the way, opened the black hole door. The monkeys, big and small, saw the sun again, and loved the Monkey King even more. Wukong led the monkeys, seized the home, set fire to the dirty waterhole, and flew to Wagwo Mountain. The monkeys in Wagwo Mountain danced with joy when they saw the return of the king. After getting down to earth, Wukong told all the monkeys, "Little ones, be happy. Now our family has a surname. My surname is Sun, and my legal name is Wukong. We are a nest of sun." The monkeys flatter the Lao Sun, and the whole family is happy. The story of Sun Wukong has begun. And then please read the second book, Dragon Official The Bao.